you put that North Star out there, we're not fighting for individual influence, power. We're kind of fighting for our core values and where we're going and how to execute on that purpose statement of helping people, companies, and communities thrive. It's hokey for sure, but very much kind of our North Star.
Welcome to the Leader's Edge podcast. I'm Zach Ewell, podcast producer here at Leader's Edge. In this episode of our Personal Lines podcast series, Associate Editor Chris Hann interviews Joseph Schauer, President and CEO of Schauer Group. Schauer shares how his hometown of Canton, Ohio, instilled in him community values, shares how his family's firm has lasted over 106 years, and talks about what gives him his edge in business. Give it a listen.
We are here today with Joseph Schauer, the President and CEO of the Schauer Group in Canton, Ohio, a more than 100-year-old family-run business, which is, I'm sure, something we're going to want to talk about. Joe, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today. Thanks.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You're in Canton. I'm guessing you grew up in or around Canton. Does that require you to be a football fan?
It's in our blood. Are you kidding me? I mean, where I sit right now is about a mile and a half from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, kind of where the whole NFL was created here, actually 2 blocks away from me. It was their first meeting. And it's like Texas. Ohio is football country with Ohio State, Cleveland Browns. Don't hold that against me. But yeah, if you don't like football in Canton, Ohio, we tend to throw you out of the community. It's in our blood.
Okay. How did that manifest itself as you were growing up in that area? Did you play football? Did you just watch football?
My mom never let me play football.
Really?
Yeah, she never let me play, which I think she was right now when I look back and see some of the injuries that my younger brother, who ultimately was allowed to play, received. But, how did it manufacture? I probably carried forward this idea that this small town can have a national impact. And I think that that's probably stayed with me for quite a long time. I mean, we have something here I'm from Stark County, Ohio, which is where Canton is based. And to think that we have a very one-of-a-kind asset in this world with the Pro Football Hall of Fame in our backyard, I think that idea of, hey, we can do something pretty special here in Canton that impacts the world. I have naively carried that forward in some of our community work, the way we grow our business, the way we think about how to approach the next generation of leadership. And, I think maybe gives you a little bit of a feeling, hey, if they can do it, we can do it too. So we stay pretty focused on the longevity of where we're going, how we're getting there, and stay very committed to who we are, being from the Midwest and in this good city.
Tell me about growing up. Did you grow up in Canton?
I did, born and raised.
Tell me about growing up in Canton.
I love it here. It's a great place. It's a cliched thing to say, but it's a great place to raise a family. It's not the most hustle bustle city on the planet, but it, for me, has everything you need. It's close roots. We're, multi-generations here in this community. We've been in the community. Our family has for 5 generations. So we know everybody, big enough that there's plenty to do, small enough you can make an impact. So I think, for me, we're very much community guys. We want to make this place better than we found it. We've been around, like you said, for 106 years. And a lot of that was because of the way community received us. So we owe a lot back, the way I look at it. And we try to take our time, our dollars, and keep them moving back into the community and hiring a lot of good people and helping the tax base here and helping this community continue to grow.
You talked about community and the focus on community. And I noticed reading your bio and the bios of your brothers and family members, it seems like everyone is very heavily involved in civic organizations and local nonprofits. Tell me about, is that a family obligation? Is that a work obligation? Or is that just, where did that come from?
It's the DNA. And one of the questions, as we were preparing for this was to think about heroes and those that, I always think I always admired those that were making an impact. Maybe it was because I was too naive to see, Canton's not a metropolis, but for me, it was a very big town as I was growing up. So my great grandfather was very heavily involved in the community and different organizations and United Ways and bank boards and economic development organizations. My father and uncle very much involved in different aspects of Boy Scouts camps and colleges and our local hospital board of directors. And we just grew up wanting to make an impact. In fact, when we got in and we're trying to formulate our mission, our purpose, passion for our business is to help people, companies, and communities thrive. And when we landed on that as kind of our family calling, which ultimately would be kind of the motto for our organization, it just feels authentic. And I think, that's who we are. We're not trying to be fake about it. We're not doing it for the pure grow our business sense. We do have this feeling of altruism where I think we can leave this place a little better than we found it. And we do bring unique skills with our vantage point, with the way we can uh, look out and see the national landscape of insurance and risk management, and try to apply some of those skills to help those organizations in our community that are continuing to keep this thing floating in the right way and actually starting to thrive a little bit. So pretty optimistic. It's in our blood.
And part of that, part of your civic commitment was, speaking of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you have served on the advisory as an advisory board member there. Tell me about that experience and all of your
It's so
history
cool.
with the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, especially now as I'm getting a little older. So now that the guys that are coming into the Hall of Fame that are being enshrined are people that, were my childhood heroes, and it's pretty amazing to see them up close in person and to see how they think about their career and reminisce. And just being such a long-standing member of this community, I get really close access to seeing this national brand and these very famous people descending upon our community in August, the first weekend in August. It's not only a major economic impact to our area, but it does put us on the map. I heard Andy Reid say a comment to Jason Kelsey the other day on an interview that, hey, you're going to Canton. And to think that these big time players and names and people call our community out and know that it stands for excellence and in both football and other things is pretty cool. So it puts us on the map, and I was very happy to be a part of it. They're still a close partner of ours. We do a lot of work with Pro Football Hall of Fame, just continue to preserve that unique asset that Stark County has that nobody else in the world does.
We mentioned how active you and your family are in the community. Lots of leading organizations. You're the chair of the Sisters of Charity Foundation. With your limited free time, I imagine limited free time between work and family, how do you choose which commitments you're going to make?
I'm a terrible golfer, so I have less free time.
That helps.
So it does. I enjoy the game, but I'm not very good at it. So I'm demoralized usually more times than not. So I find that, and I also want to lead by example too, so, you dive in and you want your company culture to be one that's ingrained in the community. You want your people. We don't push that, but I think we attract that. So it becomes natural and authentic for them too. So I look at it as, it's just what we do. You find the time. I mean, our community is not that big. So organizations like ours have a very much of an we very much of an oversized impact. And if people like us and our organization is not involved in the community, maybe others wouldn't do so. So we try to lead by example. We want to be there. These are our clients. These are our friends. These are our family members we're trying to help. You find the time because the cause is worthy. I want my kids to be proud of where they come from, and I would love for them to come back here one day. And I look at it very much along that way. And I also want a very vibrant economy for our business to continue to succeed. So there is some selfishness, I guess, when you're talking about getting involved. But I would say that it is in the vein of making sure that high tides rise all ships, and that we can, if we do double down and continue to invest and spend maybe a little bit of over-index time and in volunteering, that not only does it help us, but it's going to help the next generation of Stark Countyans.
Yeah, let me ask you about your company and your company history. Was it your great grandfather who started it?
You got it. Yeah, great grandfather. Great grandfather. He started it. Grandfather had bought the business from him. It started in the life insurance business, kind of door to door sales. Had evolved now into what we are now is multi generation, multi offices across Northeast Ohio. My grandmother actually was a part of running the business while my grandfather was in World War II. So that was kind of a cool thing. We have
Wow.
female leadership early in our generation, and I have two girls. My brother has two girls, and we want to keep that forefront too, as keep the women in leadership and keep that part of our DNA too. I've been very lucky. I tell people I've learned the alphabet in the file room. I started here early. Did internships in our personal insurance group. Spent a lot of time understanding what it is we did. Very proud of my father and uncle for what they built. They were always thinking about the business like stewards. We weren't trying to maximize profitability per se. Profit's important, no doubt, when you talk about longevity, but definitely more aware of, hey, we've got kind of a legacy going on here. I hate to say that, kind of sounds a little cliched, but certainly very proud of what they built, and my job is to continue to steward that the brand, the organization, the commitment we have to our communities, the way we think about our clients. It gave me a great vehicle to do that. So I'm
I
very
think
lucky.
I think 106 years qualifies as a legacy.
Well, yeah, we haven't been punched out yet. That's for sure. We're trying.
Well, let me ask you. You referenced this. Were you when you were growing up? Were you expecting to follow in your father's footsteps?
Not at all. I was not
Really?
expected. I would not expect it. I was very lucky growing up that now the good and the bad, right? The good is my dad gave me, I would say father, mother, absolutely too, a white piece of paper, to go do what you want. I give you a nice solid foundation of education, security, love, all the things. But uh, we kind of found ourselves back here, and I think there's some that draw of, being part of maybe what our great grandfather did, our grandfather did, our father and uncle have done.
Sure.
And wanting to put that next stamp on it. We just didn't want to fall away into the wind like so many others have. And I don't know, I kind of, again, feeling a little idealistic, but I always wanted to just keep that thing rolling a little bit. And I got back here, and now that I have the job, I have them even more proud that we're continuing to survive and punch above our weight and continue to grow, and not only add things to our business here in our community, but also I think we're doing the right thing for our clients. We do it the right way.
And Joe, I want to make sure I'm getting the lineage straight. It was Bill and Tom was your father and uncle. Which one was your dad?
So Tom is my grandfather,
Okay.
Bill and David.
I'm
So
sorry. I'm sorry.
David's
Yeah.
my father. Oh, no problem at all. Are you kidding me? I still answer this question to everybody in the community. They have no idea. They just know Schauer, which is good and bad. But no, it's my father's David, uncle's Bill. Both were incredible at this business. David, very technical, very in depth in terms of risk and risk management. Bill, very out in terms of employee benefits, health insurance, and community orientation. So those two ham and egg very, very well. And my brothers, I have two brothers in the business now and a cousin, and the four of us have figured out our lanes too. And it's pretty cool to see that, because you put that North Star out there. We're not fighting for individual influence, power, kind of fighting for the for our core values and where we're going and how to execute on that purpose statement of helping people, companies, and communities thrive. It's hokey for sure, but very much kind of our North Star. I think it all works. If you do that well, I think it all comes together.
A question I ask everyone in these interviews, since we're speaking of Leaders Edge magazine, what gives you your leader's edge? What makes you an effective leader?
I'm authentic. I think, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Some people could say that's a weakness. I think it's you always know where I'm at. I'll tell you, I probably, I'm empathetic and very personable. I think, I'd say those things. I mean, I think that's my edge. I mean, we're driven. We're really hungry and competitive. You add that with empathy and good, strong core values and a culture. I'd say that's by far our edge. Our culture is our edge. Our core values are our edge. Our execution model is our edge. And I'm a part of that. I'm a part of putting that all together.
I'm going to let you get back to work. And it looks like you got a lot on your plate. And I wish you all good things moving forward.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate CIAB. You guys have been awesome for us.
That was Associate Editor Chris Hann interviewing Joseph Schauer. I hope you enjoyed it. For more episodes of our Personal Lines podcast series, go to leadersedge.com.